Hey everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with another movie review, and today we're reviewing The Conjuring 3, or as it's titled, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, everybody. It came out today on HBO Max and in movie theaters, so I checked it out on HBO Max because I couldn't get to the movie theater this weekend at all. So, the Warrens are back, everybody, and they are investigating a murder that may be linked to a demonic possession, like always. So, this movie is the first one in the trilogy that is not directed by James Wan. He directed the first one and the second one. And this is a big franchise because we got the Annabelle movies, we got the Nun. Like, this is a huge, like, horror franchise of, like, demonic possession and demons and stuff like that. So, James Wan created a horror universe in a way. So, but yes, this movie's directed by Michael Chavez. He is a new director to this Conjuring series. So, and I think he does a decent job. He's not James Wan though. James Wan did help write the story for the movie, at least. So, and Patrick Wilson is back as Ed Warren, and Vera Farmiga is back as Lorraine Warren, and they are the best part of this movie, because I will say that I do think this is probably the weakest in the trilogy of the Conjuring movies. I think it's the weakest one. I'm not saying it's a horrible movie. I'm gonna keep this spoiler free too. As much as I possibly can. I won't really spoil anything about the movie. But yeah, I think this is the weakest one in the three movies. And I do think that has in part that James Wan was not able to direct this because the guy is a genius at doing horror movies, like with the scares. Like, he's really good at doing the whole suspense building and actually the way that he films the scary parts of his movies and puts them on the big screen. I don't think this movie quite did that as what the first two did. But yeah, Patrick Wilson and Vera as Ed and Lorraine, they're the best part of this movie. They're enjoyable to watch on screen. Their chemistry together, they're just as good in this movie as they are in the first two movies. And they're on this investigation because of this possession, because this is telling the true story of the Devil Made Me Do It case, where it was the first time that somebody pled not guilty because of demonic possession in a courtroom, and this adapts that true story to a live action screen. So obviously it's not completely true, but they take that true story and they formed it into a live action movie. So that's what this movie is adapting. So Ed and Lorraine are going out to try and, prove that this guy is not guilty because he was possessed by this demon and killed somebody. So, and this movie has a lot of witch shit in it that I will say, and some of that's kind of cool. I will say there's a scene with Ed and Lorraine, and they're down somewhere, and there's some pretty cool, interesting things that happen with some witchcraft and stuff like that. So, John Noble is in this movie too, everybody. He's a retired priest. John Noble is in this damn movie, so I thought that was kind of a cool little tidbit. But yeah, so the trailers for this movie, and this is not spoiling anything because they were in the trailers, all the trailers for this movie. The trailers make it seem like the courtroom setting is going to have a huge part in this movie. Like, we're actually going to get a horror, demonic possession, exorcism type, movie with a courtroom drama also, like, mixed together. And I gotta tell you, the courtroom stuff in this movie is barely in the movie. It literally sets up what the Warrens are going out to do to try and prove that this individual is not guilty. And then you don't see the courtroom again until the very end of the movie. And I honestly think that was a big mistake, because the trailers led all of us to think that the courtroom was going to play a lot and play into what was going on with the story, and it was literally just the little stepping stone to get Ed and Lorraine on their road to trying figuring out what is going on, and is this guy really possessed, and figuring this out. Did he murder this person, or is he possessed, and that's why he's murdered them? Like, I kind of think that was a big mistake, because it would have been really damn interesting if they would have meshed those two type of movies together. I think the movie would have turned out better than it did, and that's the thing, and that's why I think this is kind of the weakest one in the trilogy. So, but overall, you guys, I mean, it was an entertaining Conjuring movie. Like I said, I think it's the weakest of the three. But if you enjoy the first two, I do think there is enough in this movie for you to get a little bit of entertainment out of, at least, because Patrick Wilson and Vera are great in the movie. Like I said, once again, they're entertaining to watch, just like they were in the other two. There are a few decent scares, and when they show the possession, the body all cracking and contorting in different crazy ways, that shit's creepy. I always think that shit's creepy. It makes my skin crawl. There's some of that in the movie, but I will say there's not a lot of scares in the movie. There really is not a lot of scares, and these type of movies usually are super freaking creepy, and they usually have lots of nasty, creepy scares in them, but this one really didn't. There was some cool, like dramatic, like, shifts in, like, the lighting and stuff like that, like when Vera's doing her thing where she's touching something and she kind of goes into what happened and stuff like that with her ability that she has because of God, so I mean, that stuff was kind of cool, but overall, guys, it was just okay for me. So I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10 for The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, everybody, or Conjuring 3, because it's the third Conjuring movie, technically. So, all right, everybody, 7 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. Thanks for watching, and I'll be catching you on the tube later, because I have spoken.